Hello, welcome back to another sketchbook video. If you have not watched before, hi, I'm Cleaver, or at least that's what a lot of people tend to call me, and a few others call me Stains, but mostly it's Cleaver. So I was just doing another sketchbook page today. That is generally what I do on my channel, and yeah, started out with a thumbnail as I always do. This one was going to be really random and actually ended up filming in a different place. My plan was to have plenty of time to finish this entire video, and then maybe since I was alone that day, I would end up with enough time to do a tiny bit of streaming on Discord or something, just sketching also in some more pages. I don't know. It was a tentative plan and one that did not reach its end. There was, it didn't happen because I did not leave my house until like 2 p.m. because someone offered me a ride, so I figured I'd just wait for him because I was lugging my backpack and a few other bags because, yeah, we all know if you record at all that you have to take a lot of crap, and if you're going to make pages you have to have all of your stuff with you, and I've narrowed it down quite a bit in the last few years because it's not fun. It's not fun lugging a bunch of stuff and then only using, I don't know, 3 things out of it. So yeah, and I use a lot of my normal stuff in this one, still sticking to the pen. I really wanted to use my zebra brush pen, but I didn't. I was like, it won't match the other page. Why that mattered to me, I have no idea, but apparently it mattered that day. So yeah, normal stuff. My Muji polycarbonate pen, just a plain ballpoint pen really, and my coal erase for the sketching, and my Tombows, and I also used my 2 Sharpie acrylic markers. I really like those. The brush pen ones are really nice. This one was pretty random. I had my laptop with me, so I was just listening to the 2 Towers because I've been doing that lately. Mostly I'd been keeping quiet when I was doing the sketchbook videos. I wasn't listening to anything, wasn't bothering with anything, but this time I figured I would get some listening in, so the whole time I filmed this I had on the Lord of the Rings. So I got quite a bit done, and yeah. The bad thing about that is if I have something playing, I will occasionally over sketch when I know I'm going to ink, and I could easily just make up what was going on in the sketch and it wouldn't be a big deal. So I did spend far too long on this under sketch and put way more detail than was necessary, but it's fine. So here's that Muji pen. I just inked with it like I usually do. Obviously adding my own line weights, and that takes me quite some time. And then I had the idea that I was going to do a bunch of shading on this. Why? I don't know. I didn't have to. And that's not to say that I don't like how it ended up looking because of the shading. I do think that it helped a lot with keeping it from being too simple. But that still took me forever, and it's one of the main culprits for why I did not finish this day. I could not. So I had to go back the next day and work on it, which was... it was fine. I mean, I went and did it eventually. But I still wasn't able to do my voiceover that day, which was frustrating. Since I'm trying to do better about, all this stuff, but I had tons of appointments, and one of our bosses that we work for kind of threw out parts of the year. Was wondering if we would go check on some stuff, and it's quite a drive. So yeah, I had a doctor's appointment, and then I had to go check on the stuff for the boss. Then I had to come back, and I thought that my brother and I were going to go through and add all of the paste onto the CPUs for all of the desktops in the house, but we did not because he wasn't feeling super awesome that day. So then my sister and I went up to the other place, which is where I'm recording this, and we just went ahead and made a bunch of D&D pages printed a bunch of the D&D pages that she and I designed with our brother for the big D&D books, like character books and stuff that we had made very recently, that are finished and listed on our Etsy. So yeah, I'll try to link those actually, because I think they turned out nice. But yeah, they're just disc-bound, letter-sized books, and we worked on those, and we ended up going back the day after that and putting them all together, which was cool. It actually took us like 2.5 hours to print all of the pages, because we made 8 books, but that day we made 7 because we had one just to check the sizes and make sure everything fit properly. And yeah, it was pretty nice, pretty cool. So yep, I'll have to link those. I wonder if I have any pictures somewhere that I could show. I've been really wanting to try and keep up on filming when we do stuff for the business and make YouTube videos again. Just it's a lot to edit sometimes. We'll have to jumbo up, as my family likes to say. So yeah, kind of surprised myself with that shoe. I'm not saying that it's a masterpiece, but I usually draw boots as someone who wears boots all the time. I'm just really familiar with their shapes, and I drew boots a lot even when I was younger because I like them. So yeah, bust out some sneakers. So that was weird for me. I personally haven't worn sneakers in, man, I don't know, maybe over 10 years or something. It's been a long time. I decided I'd fill in some of these deep blacks that I had planned for, and I just use my Micron for these smaller ones because I have a little bit more control and the end isn't frayed like on my Sharpies. So that helped a lot with some of that. And then I went through and shaded stuff with my pen thereafter for far, far too long. You'll see what I'm talking about. Yeah, my sister and I had done some stuff for our family for Christmas. Namely for our mom, who wanted to do like Highland cows and stuff for some cups and custom cups for some of our family that are obsessed with Highland cows. So I drew some little chibi cows, and we ended up engraving them on these big cups. They kind of look like the Stanley cups. I think that's what they're called. And yeah, you can just like engrave on them, and it comes out like silver and gold and all kinds of stuff. It's super, super rad. We don't have any up on the shop right now, but we do plan to make some more. And man, those things are so freaking funny. I mean, making the cups is cool. It's also a little nerve-wracking, but those little cows on there are so... As I say, I would say, oh yeah, they're so dumb, but I mean, it's cute. It's cute. And just the other day, I was starting to kind of design some turtle stuff. I have a cousin that's super into turtles, and forever ago we said we would make him a beer stein, and still hadn't, which was my fault. And yeah, so I started doing some turtle designs and still trying to work on the comic, which I'm not making as much headway in as I wanted. The bad thing is I'm like so close to finishing a few pages. They don't have a lot of stuff on them, but I just haven't had the time. And then if I'm up in the morning, I'm like, oh yeah, I can definitely work. We don't have a shade on our window, and it's right beside me, and it's impossible to see the screen. So I haven't really been able to work on it very much, which is so frustrating. You can see now that I just went a little crazy with the shading. I really like creating this kind of messy hatching. I like doing some that are, you know, in a pattern and stuff too. I think it looks pretty cool. But for these kinds of pictures, I really enjoy doing this messy hatching. Especially if I'm going to put some tone over the top of it like I did. This day, I don't know why, because it's as dry as it's ever been, but these were actually kind of mixing well whenever I was putting the lighter tones over the top of the darker ones. And they are water-based, so occasionally they do that quite well on specific paper, but hadn't been as great on this paper, not all the time, but for some reason it blended really well on this one. I don't know. Just happens sometimes. But I was impressed on a few parts. I think specifically his big back shanks. I think that they blended pretty well on there, almost too well, which is why I ended up having to put some white on the ends to kind of like break them out. And you can see down there that I drew in part of his pant leg where it wasn't supposed to be, because I'm really cool like that. Like I said, when I'm listening to something, I'll just like go into my own zone, and I only pay a specific amount of attention, so yeah, that one was on me. I kind of like the thumbnail that I had where he was kind of sitting forward and I had his arms up, elbows out on his thighs. So yeah, I almost wish I would have done that, but I still like how this one ended up reading, so yeah, it's alright. Could always use that pose for something else. I've actually been feeling quite a bit better when drawing lately, even if something doesn't turn out, so yeah, it's a little bit more chill. I'd love to say it's because I'm getting more sleep, but unfortunately I'm not. Then the moon has been super bright here and it is terrorizing. I don't know if anyone else has that problem where the moon is bright, you can't sleep. Yeah. I really like these Sharpie markers. Even though after I finished using this one, I had a huge smudge on my finger from where I try to blend it out a little. That's a weird habit that I got from doing ink wash. And then back in the day, I used to blend graphite with my fingers. So yeah, here we go. This is the finished picture. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below. Really appreciate you watching. Have a good day or night, and bye.